Hello everyone and welcome back to Cursed on Late Night Gaming here on Bessy Beneath. Now I haven't played on this series for a while, and that is due to I thought I was going to replace this series with a co-op gameplay on our FS19 server, Bucks County, with my brother. But he decided he did not want to do anything online. He just wanted to play. So I thought, well, I guess I'll go back to Bessy Beneath and do this. Now, I may have goofed this up because what I did... So I don't fully understand seasons. I mean, I understand, the theory of seasons, but I don't fully understand how the geos work. So I had installed a Midwest geo that I thought would make it more like the Midwest, because I think that's the whole point. But which is fine for the map I was working on. And we see we have our helper Julia out there right now. Oh, well, we did. Says she has completed her task, but I'll bet she hasn't. All the fields in here are really kind of screwy, directionally wise, and so she thinks she's done and she's not done. Yep, nothing's done. So let's finish it up while I talk. How's that sound? So I had the Midwest Geo installed. And I thought, that's cool, because I was working on an Iowa map at the time. I was playing an Iowa map, which is in the Midwest, United States, and I thought, okay, that's great. But I guess when you have that mod installed, you have to turn it off for every other map. Otherwise, every map is going to have that geo, is how I believe it works. So I'm like, well, that sucks, because then basically every game I play is the same, except for the map. The seasons are the same. So I turned seasons off. Or, not off. Sorry, I didn't turn seasons off on this map. I removed the geo. So I'm hoping that didn't mess up the fields that I had planted. Now, I only planted that wheat field. That'll be over there, number 9. So I had planted that in wheat, and it still says it's germinated, but it said there was no fertilization. Now, I don't remember if we fertilized it the last time we played or not. So I'm not sure if the field's goofed up or not, because when you restart seasons, that tends to cause some problems. Well, especially if you turn it on and off, because they always want to reset the fields. So I'm hoping that's not what changing the geo causes. Now it does change. Now I did that field in wheat. I wanted to do this field in soybeans. And soybeans, when you have seasons on, is always a later crop to plant. But seasons tends to be very long, You can have it up to 24 days, in-game days, for one season. When we first set Bessy Beneath up, it was 9 days. And I think that tends to be a little boring. So I set it to the lowest setting, which is 3 days. So it should be 3 days for each season. And again, I hope that didn't mess with anything. Looks like she missed a few spots. These fields are strange shape and have a strange orientation. So whenever I have a helper help, they always go, I'm done, and it's like patchy mess like you see here. So this is Bessy Beneath. If you don't recall, in the last time we played, this is an English map, and I'm not an Englishman, I am American. So I thought, I don't really ever play any European maps, so I'll give it a try. Of course, we now had our announcements long ago on the FS22 coming out in November, I am of course going to get it. However, I wanted to get the collector's edition, and I'm not seeing that available in North America yet. I've heard DJ Goham say that people are buying it, but I think they are Europeans, so I think it's available there. I mean, I guess it makes sense. So what's so special about it? Well, you get some special equipment, but the main thing I think is funny, and it's a complete novelty. It would probably, after the first few times, drive me bonkers, but it's got the hazard beacon, the warning beacon, in the collector's edition, and you set it up to your USB on your PC, and then every time you turn your hazards on like this, it turns the one on next to your computer, and it's like, I mean, it's funny, but I think a few times of that and you'd be like, okay, I'm kind of done with the flashing light in my face. But it also comes with some extra equipment, as I understand it. Now, I was watching something and they brought a good point up. They're like, don't even bother, because Farming Simulator always does a Platinum Edition, and then that is the one you really want. And there's a point, that is a good point. I mean, there's no point really into rushing into Farming Simulator 22. And here's my reasoning for saying that, is that, number one, they aren't changing an engine. So it's going to be the same engine. And I brought this up how I wished 22 was going to have mud and snow, like Mud Runner or Snow Runner has. And someone said, well, that would require an entirely new engine, which this isn't on 22. And I'm like, yeah, I understand. And they are touting this new texture technology. And they show these screenshots in FS22 of the textures on the ground and so forth, with before and after shots. And I don't know. My full-time job is game design. This is what I do for a living. Not in Farming Simulator, but this is what I do for a living. And I look at those screenshots next to each other, and I don't see any difference. There, to me, is no substantial difference between the screenshots. Now, someone may say, oh, you're just an idiot. I'm a Farming Simulator fanboy, and I see it. It's like, okay. But to me, it is like, you ever heard the story Emperor's New Clothes? Yeah. It's them saying, look at our new thing we did, and it's really nothing's there. Nope. That's the way it feels to me. So going back to the point of you don't have to rush into Farming Simulator, and that is because I felt the same way with 17. I bought 19 and I was like disappointed, because like all the mods are still for 17. People are still making mods for 17. There's nothing for 19. And so 19 feels like a much emptier game until the mods caught up. Once the mods started catching up, and you'd have mod releases every day and stuff, it was like, oh, now I got something to play. Now this is an interesting game. So until that happens, I really don't see a reason to rush into grabbing 22. So I'm at a real loss. I mean, I got 19 for free on Epic Game Store and then bought all the accessories, because I was like, no, I'm going to play 17, screw 19. And then Epic Game Store said, oh, we'll give it to you for free. And I was like, okay. Which I regretted almost immediately, because I don't like Epic Game Store. And I have no intention of getting Steam on Epic Game, or getting Farming Simulator 22 on Epic Game Store. They could ship me the collector's edition and say you can only play it on Epic Game Store, and I'd be like, nope, don't want it, because I hate their service so much. When I turn on Steam, it turns on. If there's an updated updates. When I turn on Epic Game Store, there's often a put in your password, and then you put in your password. It's like, oh, we're going to send you an email, put in the code. It's like, can I just get to the games? Can you just let me in my library? Why do I have to do this every time? It really annoys me. So anyway, I don't want it on Epic Game Store, so I'm going to get it on Steam. Because I like to have all my games in one place anyway. But I don't know if I'm in a rush. I don't know. If I can't get the collector's edition, I may just wait until the platinum edition comes out. My brother is rather excited because the trailer for FS22 showed that there's going to be Kenzie planters. And he is a lead welder in the plant that makes them. So he was pretty excited to see those. Anyhow, I'm going to finish this up. And we'll see what's left to do around here. Okay, so that's a job done. That is the field plow. Let's take a look and make sure it's all happy. Wrong button, there we go. So if we go into ground, it says it's all plowed, cool. And what does it need? Needs lime. I'm not going to make you guys watch me put lime on another field, so I'll do that off camera. So this plow I just picked up. I went and sold the plow and subsoiler that came with the map because I don't like it. So I sold them and got this. I like this plow the best. It's got, I think it's 8 meters width, and I like it when it's attached solid to the tractor so I can control everything easier. When you're dragging something behind, especially some of those plows, you gotta flip back and forth depending on which way you're going. It's like, I don't have time for this. Chickens are doing well. We don't have any production yet. That may also be a result of me messing with the season's geo. There is our styre. While we're here, I also got rid of our dry fertilizers, so we now have liquid fertilizer and liquid herbicide, and I bought a sprayer which is on the styre here. And we have look at our we have $182,000. We had 200 some thousand dollars. I don't recall how we got so much money. Perhaps it was selling equipment at the start, but I thought, why screw around and mess with stuff I don't like? I did want to play with some new equipment, but now that I reduce the season down to 3 days, I feel a little more pressure to get stuff done. And messing around with new equipment tends to slow you down. So I thought, let's just get the sprayer and just spray the field. So when I checked on the wheat field, when I first logged in, it said 0 fertilizer. Now that may be because the planter we have doesn't do any fertilizing. That could be. And I just needed to do that still. So I went ahead and did that, but it made me also worried that maybe I screwed up this. Again, maybe I screwed up the season settings. If that is the case, then the wheat field needs to be completely plowed up and replanted. Okay, let's set that down. Lizard subsoiler. It says subsoiler, but it is under plows. It's not a subsoiler. Well, it may be a subsoiler, but it's a plow. So, let's see. So, in keeping with, let's get rid of the stuff we don't use. Hold on. Before we deal with that, let's look at the season settings here. So we are right here at the red line. We have our wheat planted, I think. Soybeans, not for a long time yet. Got a short little window here to plant soybeans, and that's what I wanted to be in that field over there with soybeans that we just plowed. So, yeah. So it's going to be a while before we can plant that field. So we have plenty of time to lime it, frankly. And to, wow, losing my voice. And to lime it, we're just going to use that because we don't need anything fancy. Just this simple thing. So let's go over to where the planters are and let's get rid of them. I don't like them. Let's see here. Yeah, that one. Not a fan. Can I take that other piece with me from on the front? So let's get this thing moved. I don't like it. Back this sucker up out of the way. Alright. Now if we can go in here and take some of this stuff with us. I kind of went a bad angle here. Yeah, I guess this. Sell that too. The planter I like is a Great Plains planter. Wow, doing a terrible job backing up. Alright, let's get out of here. Now here's the hard part. This traffic out here on Bessy beneath is nuts. It's like rush hour traffic. I feel like every time I go to plot here, it's like commuter traffic. to go here, so success. I think if I drop it here and might be able to get out. Yep. So, yes. Tell the other part, yes. Okay. Now let's look at the one I prefer. So if we go to planters, I believe. So this is the one that's default with the game. You can see underneath here it doesn't say mod. The ones that say that are mods say the name of the mods underneath it. So this is the one that came with the game. It's fine. Says with this cedar planter you can sow fields. Blah blah blah. Okay, neat. And it's 18 meters wide, which is nice. But if we go up just a few here, let's see. Here it is again. Ooh, no, it's not actually. It's a different size. 12 meters. 4025A, and this one is... Yeah, it's a different model completely. Interesting. But the difference is this one fertilizes as well with liquid fertilizer. So I prefer that one. And with the size of our fields, 12 meters, that's not too bad. So let's pick this one up. Yeah, I don't think there's anything special about it. I'm going to leave the trailer hitch here so that I can pull it with a truck if I ever need to. Bye. Alright. Oops. Force habit. Now I do have a mod that is a better, it's hard to say better. It is a different planter. It's wider, it does more things, it plants more crops, crop types. But it is just like a mess in terms of being a mod. The rogue markers don't work. It's John Deere colors, and it says John Deere on it, but when you look at it in game, in the menu it says case. It is just a deformed mutt of a planter, and although I do like to use it because it just does everything and is really wide, I just have been trying to get away from using it. It's just not a real, it's like a broken terrible mod, and I kind of feel like I'm cheating when I use it, so I don't know if I can back this into here or not. Frankly, you know, this whole European map thing, they sure have cramped spaces. Being a US boy, I grew up in Iowa, and I am used to lots of room. Huh. Look at that. Can't get traction. I'm going to have to lock the differential. Okay, I'll try to go for that door. I was going to go for the other one. Ooh, nope. I'm still going to hit it, aren't I? Yep. This may just plain not fit the door. Yeah, this maybe is not the best place to park this. We should take it back to the big lot. I don't know why you'd want to park your stuff in here. It's just like... Wow, I just made a mess of everything. Okay. Should have just backed it, or gone just straight back to the main yard there. What's happening? I'm going to leave it there for now. And I'm going to grab this other piece and get rid of it. Hopefully my helper Julia knows how to use that plow. Hello? God, let's get in a cab. I'd do everything in the cab if I could. I really don't like the external view. Same with any other racing game. I don't like the external views. Okay, I'm just gonna pull out. I'm just gonna like do it. I'm just doing it. Oh, here we go. Oh, what was that? Massey Ferguson. Let's just drop that. So, yes. Here we go. Yeah, selling all those planters pretty much paid for the planter. That's nice. Oh, it didn't even look. It was good. Kids don't do that in real life. When you learn to drive, don't just pull out of traffic and just hope for the best. Alright, so I'm going to line this field off camera. And we'll pick up Bessy Beneath from this point. I mean, I've been doing a kind of a solo by myself playthrough of Lone Oak, and I really like that map. But it's another American map, and I wanted to do a European, so here we are. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I've noticed people seem to like my quick looks at tractors that It's kind of a hint of what I had planned to do for 19, but I couldn't get the map done in time. So I'm going to try to convert the map to 22. I've heard that's a nightmare and a half. And hopefully I'll pick up the series I was planning on doing in 22 that is kind of along the lines of this quick looks. So hope you enjoyed this playthrough. If you did, please give a like. The rest of the series are here on the playlist for Bessy Beneath, and you can check out my other series. And I don't know if I'm going back to Ark or not. I'm kind of on the fence, but preparations were made to make that possible if I decide to do that. So stay tuned and follow me on Instagram if you want, and Twitter as well. Everything's Cursedon, Cursedon, Cursedon. And I'll do live streams on Twitch, so more Curse the Dawn. So I'll talk to you next time, guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.